Hi everyone, my name is Bodex. Thanks for joining me. Um, there comes a point in our journey where we start seeing separateness for the illusion that it is. I think we can all recognize um, the ego-based living. The ego is really convinced that fullness, joyfulness, satisfaction, peace, whatever it may be, it is to find outside of ourselves. And we have all played that game. And we have played that game for many, many lifetimes. But I want to address this message to the souls that have been playing this game for many, many lifetimes and are starting to see that separateness is really an illusion. And how do we make sense of that, or how do we recognize that the search that has always been in ourselves, the restlessness that have always been that we always have been acting in ourselves is starting to disappear. Um, I can recognize in my life I had multiple searches going on when I got a little bit older, because in my childhood years, and I think for everybody it's like that, the ego is not that quite developed yet, and we're still not completely connected with source, but the source is more on the background, or is more present, so to say, than when we pass over our teenager years and above. So as I grew older, there were many searches that and restlessness that were active inside of me. I was very keen on making a career, and very ambitious, and wanting to mean something in this world, but not so much for the good of other people, but more, so to say, to give my ego a boost. Look at me, I have my own whatever business, or and there are multiple things that our search can be active in. Our search can be active in finding love, finding a partner, thinking that without a relationship our life is not full, or our life is not satisfactory enough. But since a few years, the search inside of me started to decrease more and more and more. And yeah, I think I'm always talking about it in my videos, but I just keep on repeating to do so, because it simply is the biggest transformational time we have ever seen in thousands of years. So especially now, since we are growing so fast in a spiritual way, since we are shedding so fast in there is a group of souls who feel the urge to connect to God, or source, or essence, or whatever word you like to call it. I notice some people have a problem with the word God. I'm going to use it. You can fill it in for yourself, what kind of word you want to give it. But there is a group of souls who start to recognize that the connection with God is becoming their main purpose. Now, what does that look like? We start realizing that ultimate fulfillment, ultimate joy, ultimate peacefulness is not being found outside of ourselves anymore. My cats are making noise in the background. Um, so there comes a point where we are dropping that external journey, that external search for this illusionary fulfillment that we think we will have by um, extracting something from the outside world that will fulfill us ultimately. And what is showing for a group of souls is that the urge for meditation is becoming more profound because they realize that true fulfillment is being found in connection with God. The need for prayer. All of a sudden, there are a lot of people who have never prayed in their whole life, but there comes a point, including myself, there comes a point where prayer starts feeling naturally. It starts feeling like a second nature, where before it would be so foreign to us. So this phase in life can feel at first a bit uncomfortable because it is this. I talked about it in a different video, that when we come to a point where we sit with this stillness, because there is no chaos or drama in our life anymore, and we sit with that stillness, it can be for our ego very uncomfortable, because ego is a survival mechanism. We created it to not be in the here and now. So the moment we start making God our main focus, our ego will not be pleased in the slightest way. And but I think you will recognize when you've come to a point where you are right now, even there, you can sit with that uncomfortableness. You can see what's happening. You can see that the ego is slowly dying. It's not getting his highs or lows anymore from the outside. And when you stop feeding it, it will starve. And as we have starved the connection with essence for all these years, and the ego was way stronger than essence. Now it's the opposite. Our ego is getting starved, and ego and essence, or God or source, is becoming stronger and stronger in our lives. So what does that mean for you? What do you experience when your main focus is becoming God? For everybody, that can manifest in different ways. I can only maybe share with you guys what experience I have with the focus that is shifting from the search for fulfillment to the acceptance and reality that we are not separate beings. So when I realized I wasn't separate, and realizing you can do it on multiple levels. First, it's only a realization from the mind, and I think I was realizing that already for quite some years. But only knowledge is not giving a lot of fruition if it comes to materializing things in life. Knowledge is nothing without presence. So it needed to drop deeper in my being. It needed to drop in my heart. It needed to drop in my belly. It needed, that realization needed to alchemize in my complete being. And when I start realizing this fully, my craving for meditation had become more intense. Before it was there, but it wasn't like it wasn't as fulfilling as watching a movie, or it wasn't as fulfilling as eating ice cream, or you know what I mean. It was a necessary evil, so to say. And now it's really shifted for me. It's that ice cream is meditation is becoming the ice cream, or meditation is becoming the relationship, or meditation is becoming the sex, or whatever it is. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not that when my focus has started shifting, that um, the things that I used to identify myself completely with are all of a sudden completely vanished. That's not the case. You know, in my I don't stop living when I realized that I'm not separate. The only thing is that shifted is that I realized that I'm not going to get any ultimate fulfillment, not any ultimate peace in those things. And so the identification, or the urge, or the lust, or the craving, or the addiction falls away. It's just things we do in life, like we need to go to the toilet. It's just a thing we need to do. Um, Seeing our friends is just something that is nice. It's not really very like, oh wow, I need to have that in life. And it's it's get this neutral it gets a neutral kind of load. It's not very positive. It's not we're not I didn't started idolizing it. Or also I didn't start really um, the other way around, starting to get disgusted, or repulsive, or anything like that. So it's, I think, staying in the gray area. It's not a repulsion that is going on in things in life anymore, like doing the household, cleaning the bathroom. Today I was cleaning the bathroom, um, or things that can give you repulsion, like what gave me repulsion. Like cleaning wasn't really things that I like to do, because my ego was always wanting to do something that would excite the ego. For instance, going out to a restaurant, or um, going a walk, having a walk in nature, or seeing friends, or seeing my lover. That those were way interesting things to do than cleaning the house. And now I started realizing that the things that need to be done in life start to become more neutral and neutral. And the the focus that increased and still continues to increase in my life is my connection to God. Um, when you start realizing that everything that we search for in the outside world can be found in connection with God, it gives such a profound peace. It gives such a release of that the searching is stopping. How can I explain that better? When I'm going back to babyhood, because most trauma is created over there. You know, when we are being born, even before we are being born, when we're in the uterus of the mother, we are one with the energetic resonance, or the aura, so to say, of the mother. We don't have yet our own aura at that time. The first 2 years, we are part of the aura of the mother. So the first 2 years, and before, even before we were born, when we were still inside of our mother, we perceived the world through the senses of the mother. So um, rewind and take a look at your own connection with your mother, and see what energy she resonated to you. I think everybody on this stage of development can feel pretty well on, yeah, this is what she resonated. And but also the father comes into the play also. Later in life, we started developing a combination of energetic reality of the mother and the father. And this is a typical stereotype kind of development that everybody is going through at one point. If we start waking up, we start realizing, we start awakening to the pain and trauma that we have numbed and suppressed in ourselves, and a lot of it has to do with a lack of what we didn't get in our childhood. And that lack, we work very hard to still try to get being met by our parents. You know, we work hard with our mother, or we work hard with our father to still, because we cannot let go of the fact that they couldn't give us the love that we needed, or they just simply couldn't say I love you. You know, why is it so hard to say I love you? And we keep working hard and hard and hard to finally hear or feel the thing that we lacked in our childhood. And this is, I think, the most important part of that search that is stopping. And especially right now, in this time frame, we are being asked to let go and cut the cord with the aura of both of our parents. That is really the only way to start creating our own house. You know, we have, and with house I mean our own spiritual body. We have been traveling with the reality of our parents the first years, but really reality is that most people, if they didn't wake up yet, they will remain living in the emotional intelligence of their parents. So it's beautiful that we use the term growing up, but unless we wake up, most people go through life with only growing of the body, becoming taller or becoming broader, but in an emotional way, nothing really is happening. We're still at that child level, and we still crave the same things as we did when we were 2 or 3 years old. Only not a lot of people experience and realize that, because we've covered that up with some fancy intelligence, and it seems like we're all grown as people, but in fact we're all big children, or small children in a big body. But when we start to wake up to that illusion of the search that one or two or both of our parents are going to fulfill the lack that we have experienced in our childhood, we start seeing that that very lack we have been experiencing can be fulfilled by God. Because God is our ultimate creator, not the mother, not the father, but God is our ultimate creator. God knows us in the most intimate way than anybody can ever. Not God knows us even better than we do ourselves. And if I look at my life, I was always so busy and in a search of, I want people to understand me, I want people to see me. And it's beautiful how the universe gives exactly not that what you are searching for, because it's a very loving way of God showing you, okay, I'm not going to give you that, because you need to find where the ultimate truth is. And um, through that search and the search, and I was at that point where I realized I'm tired. I'm tired of the search. It's not out there, and you fall into that stillness. It's like you lost the war. You understand that feeling that you were on this war path, and you realize you lost it, and then you come into this tiredness, and you come into this surrender, and there you experience the connection with God, and there you experience, oh, he understands me so well, and he sees me so well, better than I do, better than my mother or my father do. So really, this piece is if I look at my life, is becoming more, is growing more and more and more. The restlessness is getting less, and the time spending with myself in silence is becoming rather, how do you say that in English? Like, it has the same urgency as for me drinking and eating is. That's that is how much my perception of reality has shifted. So maybe you can relate to when you really start realizing it's not going to be found out there. It's not going to be found with my parents, not going to be found with my friends, it's not going to be found at my work, it's not going to be found in food, it's not going to be found in numbing things that can numb you. It's not going to be found in entertainment. The shift will start very naturally, and the peace, the our true self is getting is so precious. At the same time, our ego is struggling. The ego is feeling is his power is getting less and less. His control over you is becoming weaker and weaker. But we have been observing the ego already for multiple years now, so it's just really a matter of looking at that ego is a bit like that nagging child, like clinging onto your pants, like, I want this. Give me that, give me that. So it becomes even a bit like, that's so cute. It's like this little child who just wants something. And yeah, it's a beautiful development, and we need to start cutting the core with, especially our parents, because that is really the fundament of where we all started the search. We didn't want to face the lack of anything, and we started the search. And in these times when society is collapsing, and if we look around us, the way the people around us are behaving themselves, it's astonishing for me to see how dark it is becoming. It's becoming darker and darker and darker, and the way we uh, uh, like uh, I cannot talk in percentages, but a lot of people still believe in that separateness. Still is very profound, but it's not going to last. And the sooner we realize that, um, the less friction and decay and struggle we will how to say that we will be in connection with. Um, and I think it's for this group that is really feeling that God is becoming their main focus, that they can be an example for the people that are still very much identified with their separateness, and not by preaching, not by uh, telling people what to do, but by just living their own awareness, living their own truth, shining their own light, remaining in their own sovereignty, in their own autonomy. I think that's it, guys. Much love, and till next time.